So today we're going to be answering the question, how did this Japanese speedrunner Napalm beat the second place Gungeon time by a full minute and 42 seconds? This is what makes the run. This chest drops, and within the chest is the escape rope. HollowGun was able to beat the game in 7 minutes and 43 seconds. The note HollowGun put on his run? One word. Soon. Which is why, on April 30th of 2022, Napalm submitted a new run with a time of 6 minutes and 51 seconds. That's right, after 8 months of waiting, Napalm's 6 minute and 51 second any percent world record has finally been toppled. And for the first time in nearly 4 years, a runner other than Napalm now holds the any percent world record. HollowGun has been grinding Enter the Gungeon for such a long time, and while I previously labeled Napalm the greatest Gungeon speedrunner to ever exist, today I'm going to explain why I think it's actually HollowGun for a huge number of reasons, and how HollowGun was able to crush Napalm's seemingly impenetrable world record. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I'm pretty close to 6,000 subscribers, and it would be pretty cool to hit that goal before my 20th birthday. More importantly though, be sure to check out this legendary speedrunner on Twitch and YouTube, as HollowGun is deathly underrated and deserves the community support for all his hard work. Also, I shaved my beard recently, so I look kinda different. Go easy on me in the comments. Alright, on to the video. So, first off, we have to do a little recap, okay? So originally, 3 years ago, 3 years, this was 2019, this is like nearly 4 years ago, Napalm submitted the 701. Everyone knows it, everyone loves it. Then we move on to HollowGun's grind. HollowGun was grinding a lot. HollowGun was like in the 8-minute territory, while Napalm was at 701. And then HollowGun started creeping closer and closer and closer, and it looked like HollowGun was gonna beat, using the gunslinger, it looked like HollowGun was going to beat Napalm. But then 8 months ago, Napalm submitted this, which is a gunslinger op run by Napalm, beating his own world record. His own world record. And now this wasn't a perfect run. I talked about this in another video as well. This wasn't a perfect run. There was some chamber navigation that could have been better. You know, there was a number of things that I won't go into now because I've already gone into them previously in my videos. So we're gonna skip to present day, or rather the past few weeks, okay? Because HollowGun didn't just pop out of nowhere and just get this record, okay? 8 days ago, HollowGun submitted a 720. So HollowGun's been grinding any percent. But not only that, let me show you something, chat. See all these different one character any percent categories? There's a lot, right? We have turbo any percent, blessing any percent, turbo blessing any percent, hell percent, turbo hell percent, blessing hell percent, and turbo blessing hell percent. Guess who holds the world record for all of these? The Hollow Sweep, baby. The Hollow Sweep. He's been holding on to a lot of these records for a while, and this was the last one. This was the any percent record, which isn't on the leaderboard yet, but the any percent record is like the final piece of the puzzle that Hollow needed. And now he's got all the one character any percent categories. It's the Hollow Sweep. Now the big thing here is Gunslinger is the best character. I've explained why Gunslinger is the best character for any percent. And it's because what you're looking for when you're running any percent is, with Gunslinger specifically, is you are looking for the op. And super early on, as you can see, HollowGun's just gameplay in general is really quick. And then in the fourth room of the first chamber, he gets the op. This is 18 seconds into the run.
What the op does, the op has a number of synergies. Now, if you don't know the Gunslinger's passive item, the Gunslinger's basic appeal is that the Gunslinger has a passive item called the Lich's Eye Bullets, which basically any gun you pick up gets all of the possible synergies it can get immediately. Immediately gets all the possible synergies, right? So the op has a number of synergies. The main one, and this is great, is that if you do a 360, your character will start glowing, and you do bonus damage with the op. This can be stacked up to 6 times, meaning you can spin 6 times in a circle to stack that damage, get a huge shot charged up, and then fire it. This is enough to kill bosses. And so he's navigating, 46 seconds in, he reaches the first boss. All right, you can see right here, you can see that this map in the top right is a pretty big, right? It's a pretty big room for this boss fight. It's the biggest possible room you can get for the first chamber. So you see, HollowGun goes in, fires the shot immediately, expecting the boss to be right there. That's not the case, which is why I pointed out this is the one room where that doesn't occur. But that's okay, because it happens really quickly. The boss is killed. Moving on. HollowGun sees that this is a hallway. HollowGun goes through the door, sees that that's a hallway. Now, because HollowGun knows chamber navigation so ridiculously well, Hollow immediately knows that's not the right way to go. So he goes through the other door. And now, as you can see, the op is just insta-killing everything. You don't even have to spin for a lot of these enemies. Now, HollowGun does spin while waiting for enemies to spawn, but that's because there could be a big enemy that maybe requires 2 shots or something. So HollowGun does do the spin. Also, a big thing to note is that, for the most part, these rooms that Hollow is facing they don't have a lot of enemies. Sometimes you will enter a room and it'll have like a dozen enemies divided between like 2 waves. These rooms that we're seeing so far have been ridiculously quick. So, Hollow doesn't have to shoot 12 different shots of the op. It's just 2, for that previous room. Moving on here, you can see, okay, this confused me while I was looking at it the first time. This sniper is actually charmed, meaning it's friendly. Now, HollowGun obviously kills it, but what that means when an enemy is charmed is that it's on your side, it's not going to attack you, and it'll attack other enemies. But what would cause that? What would cause that? Well, that's actually another part of the op's synergy. So the op has another synergy, a separate one from the ones that deal a bunch of damage, that basically makes it so all sniper bulletkin are friends with you immediately. This is another thing that really doesn't matter in the run, but I figured I'd explain it just because, it's there. HollowGun goes into the shop and sees this. Up here, this is the bionic leg. What the bionic leg does is it increases your base movement speed. Pretty simple. It's a little too expensive for HollowGun right now, but this is important. Now, another thing. I've explained reload tech before in my videos where you drop a weapon and immediately pick it back up for an instant reload. And this can also be used to prevent guns with multiple forms from switching forms. It'll stay on the form you want it. For instance, the combined rifle, right? Or the triple crossbow. Another thing that the reload tech is useful for, though, is you can use it to actually increase your rate of fire. And what I mean by this, let's slow this down for a second, why don't we? Let's put this to 50 speed, right? HollowGun goes in, shoots a shot, drops it, and picks it back up. The gun is only missing 1 bullet, so why would you do that? You don't need a reload right now. It would be more efficient to just point and shoot the other enemy, right? Well, the op is a relatively slow weapon. It's faster to drop the weapon and pick it back up because that actually resets the cooldown between weapon shots, essentially. So you can do it back to back to back to back if you just drop it and pick it back up. So it's just smarter for HollowGun to just, do that. Demon pause, I want to make lunch? No. What are you talking about? This is the biggest run in Enter the Gungeon history. You want me to pause? Are you kidding me? Amazing movement, amazing aim. HollowGun goes straight to the perfect path, essentially. The perfect pathing straight to the boss. And then immediately, before we even see the boss show up, HollowGun immediately snipes it. So quick on the draw. Now, here's something that's good, right? HollowGun picks up a new weapon. I believe this is called high caliber. I'm going to look it up real quick just to be sure. High caliber. I was right. Yeah. The weapon is called high caliber. It's by itself in regular runs. It's like an A tier weapon. It's really good. However, this is huge for Hollow specifically because it means now Hollow has a weapon that will pretty much instantly kill all enemies in upcoming chambers without having to use op ammo, which is huge. It's great. And now, because of that boss fight, Hollow has enough money to buy the bionic leg, which, like I said earlier, increases HollowGun's movement speed. So now, HollowGun has an amazing room clearing weapon, an amazing boss clearing weapon, an increased movement speed, along with his instinctual knowledge of just chamber generation. These are all the things that you want in run. Like I said, you can see right here, HollowGun is using the high caliber instead of the op for most situations, because a lot of these enemies can actually be one-shotted with the op. And you might see these bubbles here. Basically what these bubbles do, when you hit an enemy with high caliber, it basically like pulls its soul out of the enemy. That's like the lore of the weapon. But it makes this bubble that if you hit it, it does extra damage, like a huge amount of damage to the enemy. Now, the high caliber synergy that it has with Gunslinger, because remember, Gunslinger gives all weapons all their synergies. High caliber synergy makes it so that these bubbles fly towards you when you shoot an enemy. Basically, if an enemy isn't one shot with the base high caliber bullet, it will be one shot when you hit the bubble. Spinning does make the other gun make more damage. Does it really? Can we confirm that? If you do a 360 spin with the op and then immediately switch back to another weapon, is that boosting the other weapon? Because I didn't know this. So the high caliber, in addition to its base high damage, is also boosted by the op. And HollowGun can save op ammo for bosses and other important things. And here we are, third boss, 2 minutes, 54 seconds into the run. Takes 2 shots. The first shot doesn't instantly kill this boss, but the second shot does it. That doesn't even matter. That's like 1 or 2 seconds of time loss. Doesn't even matter. HollowGun gets ammo and the serious cannon. Ammo's huge. Op goes from 11 to 50 shots again. You'll love to see that. And then we move on. Paul takes a second to rearrange the weapons, get it all ready. Drops the serious cannon. HollowGun drops the serious cannon. Now, here's why I think HollowGun dropped the serious cannon, and I'm fairly certain this is the case, right? The serious cannon is dropped because it takes time. You have to charge it up. It's a charged weapon. The problem with that is that takes time. You have to hold down the fire button and then release when the shot is charged. It's ridiculous. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need that. He has 2 good weapons that have plenty of ammo, and to have the serious cannon in that collection of weapons makes it more cluttered, makes it take more time to switch between weapons. In my video talking about Napalm, I really was stressing how ridiculously lucky Napalm was, and I want to continue to stress that Enter the Gungeon is a game that requires a lot of luck, and this run is incredibly lucky. But I really want to also highlight the immense amount of skill that HollowGun has here, because there's just so many little things that save such small amount of time that all add up into what is now a world record. A lot of luck, but knowledge and strategy is first. That's a great way to put it, FranMax. Right here, you see the top right. This room that he's in has 3 doors, one going up, one going down, one going right. This is kind of a gamble. One of these is going to go the right way. You can't know for certain which one it is, though. It's just not possible. Researching chamber navigation and the way chambers generate will not tell you which one of these doors is the correct one. But what it will tell you is that one of these doors, for sure, is the correct one. HollowGun goes right. And then sees shop. That means that this is not the correct path. This is not going to lead to boss because shop is right there. So HollowGun goes back and then goes down. Now this has 1 door leading out of it. Now HollowGun's on the right path. And there you go. Now you can see we're here. We're at the boss. First shot doesn't kill the wall, but the second shot does. And now we're ready to go. HollowGun immediately teleports to the elevator. Doesn't even look at the loot. Doesn't even look at it. You know why? HollowGun doesn't need it. He doesn't need the loot. Because even if it's ammo, which is like the best case scenario, even if it's ammo, even if it's cactus, even if it's $1 million waiting right there for him, it does not matter right now. Because he has the op, and he has the high caliber, and he needs to just keep moving. So he does. And 4 minutes and 25 seconds into the run, he moves on. Now he's in the 5th chamber. Right here. You see there's 2 doors going down, 1 going up. Now my immediate thought is the one going up will lead to the locked door that probably has a chest. That was what I immediately thought when I was watching this run. I was like, surely it's just going to be a loop. It's going to be a loop. He's going to waste time. What I'm theorizing now is that this little door would have been a loop that loops around to the chest. So he goes up, which is incredibly smart. And clearly, HollowGun's way smarter than me when it comes to chamber navigation. Now these guys, these red sorcerers, usually, and this is another reason why op is goated, usually when you fire bullets at them, they catch the bullets. They catch the bullets, and then they fire them back at you. So they're kind of like immune to your shots until they like stop collecting your bullets. You know, there's like a moment of immunity with these guys. But with the op just instantly melts them. Another reason why the op is amazing. Nothing stops it. Nothing stops it. Not even BS wizardry. 5 minutes, 8 seconds into the run, we've reached the dragon. This is where it all goes down. This is where this run wraps up. Pretty much. Now, the dragon, interesting thing about the dragon is the dragon actually doesn't get instantly one-shotted by the op. You have to do 3 spins to take it to second phase. But that took 10 seconds. That literally took 10 seconds. Now we have to wait, and this sucks, but we have to wait for this whole phase to go through. We have to wait for all the dodge rolls. It's tedious. In my opinion, this is the most tedious part of the run. HollowGun doesn't even bother going with the dodge at the very end. He just goes straight through, starts spinning, and immediately kills the dragon. Goes for the heart. There we go. And there you go. After nearly 4 years, Napalm's crown has been stolen by HollowGun, the GOAT. The GOAT of Enter the Gungeon speedrunning. I'll say it. It's not even contested anymore. It's not even contested. Months ago, I was talking about how Napalm was the GOAT. Not anymore. Not anymore. Napalm's lost the throne. It's HollowGun now.